Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Stephanie Safatadi Danaya from Faculty of Medicine at Sultan Agong Islamic University. In this occasion, I will continue about a short checklist of an article. The title is "The Probiotic During In-Hospital Antibiotic Treatment Prevent Colonization of Gut Microbiota with Multidrug-Resistant Bacteria", a randomized placebo-controlled trial comparing Saccharomyces to a mixture of Lactobacillus, Bifidobacterium, and Saccharomyces. Let us begin by evaluating this article point by point according to the consult checklist. 1. Title and abstract. Point 1a, identification as a randomized trial in the title. This article clearly complies with this item. The title explicit includes the phrase randomized placebo-controlled trial, indicating that this study is indeed a randomized controlled trial. Next, 1b, structure summary of trial design, method, result, and conclusion. In the abstract section, the author have provided a structure summary that covers the background, methods, results, and conclusion. This layout aligns with consort recommendation for abstract. Next, 2.2a, scientific background and explanation of rationale. This point is well addressed. The author provides a comprehensive background on the role of probiotic in modulating the immune system and maintaining good health, especially in the context of antibiotic treatment. They also explain the clinical importance of preventing colonization with multi-drug resistant bacteria. Next, 2b, specific objective of hypothesis. The study clearly states its objective to evaluate whether probiotic administration during antibiotic treatment reduced gut colonization with MBR bacteria. This is explicitly stated in the introduction and form the basic for the study design. Next, 3 methods. The method section of the consort checklist includes several important components. I will now go through each one, highlighting which were reported in the article. Point 3a, description of trial design including allocation ratio. Yes, this was addressed. The author described the trial as randomized placebo-controlled trial using a parallel group design. Next, point 4a, eligibility criteria for participant. This is clearly reported. The author lists inclusion and exclusion criteria in detail, including factors such as age, prior probiotic use, and antibiotic exposure. Next, point 4b, setting and location where the data were collected. Collected. This is also provided. The study was conducted in a hospital setting, specifically among patient receiving antibiotic. Next, point 5, the intervention for each group with sufficient detail to allow replication include how and when they were actually administered. This intervention is well described. The probiotic and placebo composition are outlined in detail, including the specific strains used and their dosage. Administration timing and duration are also provided, enabling enabling replication. Next, point 6a, completely define specific primary and secondary outcome measure, including how and when they were assessed. The author specific but primary and secondary outcome measure. They include microbiological and pain related to MDR colonization, as well as safety and tolerability assessment. Next, 7a, how sample size was determined. Yeah, the sample size calculation is explained based on expected colonization rates with assumption provided. However, the study acknowledged that as an exploratory trial, it was not powered for definitive efficacy conclusion. Next, point 8a, method used to generate the random allocation sequence. Yes, this is that the author used computer generated random numbers. Next, 8b, type of randomization, detail of any restriction. This is also clearly stated. They use block randomization with block size described. Next, point 9, mechanism used to implement the random allocation sequence. And the mechanism is described. The study is identical capsule, pre-packaged and labeled only with randomization codes to maintain allocation confinement. Next, point 10, who generate the random allocation sequence, who enroll participant, and who assign participant to intervention. This is well detailed. The randomized list was generated by an independent statistician. The investigator enrolling participants were unaware of group assignment, preserving blinding. Next, 11, 11a, if done, who was blinded after assignment to intervention, for example, participant, care providers, thus assessing outcomes, and how. The study was double-blinded, but both participants and healthcare providers were blinded to the treatment group. And next, 12a, statistical method used to compare group for primary and secondary outcomes. Statistical tests are outlined, including comparisons using chi-square and Fisher tests to categorical variable and tests for continuous outcomes. Next, for result, point 13a. Oh, moving on the result section, there are several concert checklist items here as well. Point 13a, for each group, the number of participants who were randomly assigned received intended treatment and were analyzed for the primary outcome. Yeah. Yes, the article presents a clear breakdown of participant enrollment, randomization and follow-up. A flow diagram is included. And next, 13b. For each group, loss and exclusion after randomization together with reason. Loss and exclusion are transparently report, including reason for dropouts such as withdrawal of consent and adverse event. Next point 14a, that's defining the period of recruitment and follow up. This is provide the trial was conducted over a defined period and follow duration is clearly stated. Next point 15, a table showing baseline demographic and clinical characteristic for each group. Yes, baseline demographic and clinical characteristic are displayed in a comprehensive table. Next point 16.16, for each group, number of participants included in each analysis and whether the analysis was by original assigned group. The article clearly reports the number of participants analyzed in each group and whether the analysis was based on the intention to treat principle. And next, 17a, for each primary and secondary outcome result for each group and the estimated effect size and its precision. Results for both primary and secondary outcomes are presented with appropriate statistical intervention. Next, point 18, result of any other analysis performed, including subgroup analysis and subject analysis, distinguishing specific from exploratory. Where? Oh, maybe. Yeah, next. 5, discussion. Point 20, about trial limitation, address source of potential bias, imprecision, and if relevant multiplication of analysis. The discussion address several limitations of the study, including its exploratory nature, limited sample size, and potential for non-powering. And next, 21, generalizability of the trial finding. Yeah, generalizability is briefly discussed with the author, noting that the findings may not be broadly applicable due to the small hospital-based sample. Next, 22, interpretation consistent with result, balancing benefit and harms and considering other relevant evidence. the results are interpreted in line with the data in line with the data presented, and conclusions are drawn with appropriate caution. The author recommended further confirmatory trials. And next, 6 other information. For point 23, registration number and name of trial registry. Unfortunately, trial registration information is not provided, which is a limitation. And for point 24, where the full trial protocol can be accessed if available. The article does not mention whether or where the full study protocol can be accessed. And next, the last point, 25, funding sources are clearly disclosed. The author says this trial was supported by Metagenic Europe. However, it is also not that the sponsor had no role in data analysis or publication decisions. Okay, thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.